Vegas-style slots and table games, golf at Sequoia National Golf Club, and so much more. And the sportsbook at Harris Cherokee Casinos are now open. Bet on pro and collegiate sports at 2 perfectly tailored gambling getaways. Visit harrischcherokee.com for details.
Must be 21 years of age or older to enter the casino floor and to gamble, and must present a valid state or federal photo ID upon request. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. An enterprise of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians.
Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. Call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. 810-214-3710. 810-214-3710. That's 810-214-3710.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
A little help over here?
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliate.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by The Good Feet Store, a proud supporter of Alabama athletics. Visit The Good Feet Store and get back to doing what you love. Learn more at goodfeet.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hooper. As we get ready for Alabama football against ULM on Saturday, here are some thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Kalen DeBoer.
And we got to respond, and that's what these guys are doing. And I'm excited to see these guys get on the football field. We still got a lot of preparation the next couple of days to get ready, and that preparation continues up until kickoff. And then there's adjustments that happen then. And so, these guys will be there, and our coaches and staff are working extremely hard to make sure we continue to put them in the best spots possible to go be successful. So. That time will come, but we're just taking care of the moment we're in right now.
I'll have more in a moment.
This is Christian Miller for The Good Feet Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, The Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free, personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
We've got you covered for Alabama football Saturday against ULM. Our radio start time across the network is 3:30 p.m. Central, with our pregame show beginning outside at Vector Security, Champions Lane. You can listen to the broadcast across our full radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as watch the booth cam presented by Regions Bank on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Just like that, we are off. We're running. It's a Friday edition of Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in. 7 o'clock on the dot on a Friday morning. And just a little cloudy out there this morning, but 71 degrees nonetheless. High of 89 today. Now, just depends on which forecast you're looking at. We potentially could see some wet stuff tonight. May not. Doesn't look like it, but you could. So just be prepared if you're going out to a high school football game tonight. Just kind of stay weather aware if you are headed out there anywhere on a Friday night. Talon Heating and Air can help you stay cool and dry inside your house. 256-503-4490. You know what? The air might not be needed so much down the stretch because the highs are going to be in the 80s, but the lows, we could see some 60s and 50s. You might need to get that heater checked out. Now's a good time to get it looked at before the real cold comes in. Find them online, talenthvac.com. Talent Heating and Air. Let them talent people do some work for you. Thomas, Terry, and Jeremy. 256-576-4977. That's how you can find us here for the next 2 hours this morning as we kind of set the table for what should be another fantastic weekend of college football. We'll set the table for some high school football. And last night, if you watched it at all, the NFL season did get underway. The Philadelphia Eagles started the defense of their Super Bowl with a 24-20 win over the Cowboys in a game that saw a drawn-out second half featuring a 64-minute delay in the third quarter due to lightning. It also saw someone get ejected before the game before the first play even happened last night, as we had a spitting incident. And then it also featured Jalen Hurts looking pretty good in a season opener for the Eagles. So a little bit of combination of everything to kick the NFL season off.
Yeah, I thought it was a good football game. First half was a track meet. Neither team could get a stop. It was 21-20. And then third quarter got off to a slow start. And then once they got the delay, I think it really just threw the whole game into kind of flux. So we only saw a field goal in the second half. And the Cowboys had opportunities. CeeDee Lamb, he had a Ryan Williams. What we call Ryan Williams now is, kerthunking every other pass that's, hits you in the chest. Couldn't catch the football, which is what he's paid to do. He's a very good receiver, but it just wasn't a second half that he'd like to remember. And again, as you said, Jalen Hurts did not turn the ball over, used his legs when he needed to, threw the ball well, and led his team to a win. I thought the second half, the Cowboys, did a good job against Saquon Barkley, and they looked better stopping the run. But that was probably the biggest turning point right there, is Miles Sanders, former Eagle, as we're watching the highlights here in studio, laid the football on the ground when it looked like Dallas had a really good chance to retake the lead 27-24, and he fumbles the football. But as a good friend of mine pointed out, that's pretty much his career in a microcosm, and why he's been with 7,522 to however many he's been with. But again, it was one of those things that I think Dallas did have some things to build on. Now, of course, what they'll say is if only they'd had Micah Parsons. But
you heard that a million times last night during the broadcast.
They don't have Micah Parsons. See right there, that's called the Ryan Williams. We saw him do that a few times against Florida State. It's hitting you in the hands, and then it's almost intercepted by Reed Blankenship of West Limestone,
who, by the way, brought home our Rocket City Award for the.
And I thought Reed played well last night, and so. But
Jalen Hurts, to your point, 62 yards on 14 carries last night, 2 touchdowns, 19 of 23 passing, 152 yards.
Solid. I mean,
he does target A.J. Brown, though, until an 8-yard completion on the final drive.
Yeah, that's right. So late in the game. So, but he was himself. I mean, and then right here, getting the first down to basically ice the game. Great read, great decision. And that's what you do. And he's paid to win, and that's what he does. And the Eagles continue to do that, and we'll see how good the Cowboys are. They did look improved. They looked improved running the football and, of course, stopping the run. And they just need better play out of CeeDee Lamb, because he's a dude that is paid a lot of money to produce. And he is one of the best receivers in the NFL, but it was a career high for him. Like I said, 3 drops. And in a game like that, it could be in many ways. It came down to whether or not you made a play, and the Eagles' defense struggled last night. They've lost a lot of veterans, and that's what happens. You win a Super Bowl, a lot of guys want to get paid. Some vets end up leaving. You try to supplement it through the draft, and Howie Roseman's always been good at doing that. The Eagles' defense will probably progressively improve as the year goes on, but they were struggling, especially in the defensive backfield in the first half. They got a lot of penalties. But it was a good NFL opener.
All right, tonight, if you want NFL action, just tune in to YouTube TV. It's the only place you can see it. You've got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I don't have YouTube TV, so I guess I won't be watching it, and I'll be doing a high school football game anyways.
Well, Kansas City won both matchups last year.
Is Taylor Swift like doing the halftime show or something?
I don't know. They also own a 7-game win streak over Los Angeles. Now, only 9 combined points separated the clubs head-to-head in 2024. So take it for what it is, or take it for what you want. NFL football back on the airwaves tonight as, again, the Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, Sao Paulo, Brazil. The NFL had to come in and spend a little extra cash to make this one happen because the turf was not great. And so the NFL had to come in and kind of help make the playing surface up to standards there in Brazil. All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. A little NFL recap to get you going this morning. Plenty of college football coming your way starting tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Texas is going to take on San Jose State. And then 2:30, Ole Miss in Kentucky. Tennessee is going to take on East Tennessee State at 2:30, if you care, on the SEC Network Plus.
I don't.
2:30, Missouri and Kansas.
That's interesting.
Yep. 3:15, Florida, South Florida on the SEC Network. Arkansas and Arkansas State going to face each other at 4 o'clock. Remember, Sam Pittman not too happy about this one because it's played at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock.
Yeah.
And he has made it perfectly clear that Arkansas should not be traveling to Little Rock. He doesn't see a point in traveling to Little Rock anymore to play this one. We'll run down the rest of the SEC lineup and everything else here in just a minute. Let's go out to the phone lines. Mark from Spring Hill is with us. Good morning, Mark.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, I'm still kind of thinking back on DeBoer and his presence or lack of presence in a room, and I thought I might have been a little too hard on him the other day. I do think I was correct that Coach Saban was a leader and he came in the room and he demanded respect. But I think DeBoer, one thing I was thinking about, and see your thoughts on this. Okay, let's say Alabama wins Saturday, they beat Wisconsin, and we see really good improvement. Of course, you get the off week, and then you got the game of the century, at least for him, at Georgia. My question really is this. I noticed that Kirby Smart does not follow the Nick Saban schedule route, and that is, and I like this. He plays these directional schools, kind of like a preseason, to get his team ready for when it, or he gets when you play East Texas or UT Chattanooga, those are exhibition games, and you get your team sort of primed and polished and ready to go. And since the playoff committee doesn't give one rat's tail about who you played last year, ask Alabama. Why is Alabama playing Florida State or anyone other than these directional schools?
Okay, two things. Georgia has opened up with big games.
Clemson last year.
They opened up with Clemson last year.
Destroyed them.
And so this is just a year where Georgia did not do that. And,
right.
And so Clemson and Kirby Smart, I believe they've also they've played Notre Dame to early in the seasons as well. So I think it's just an odd year for that to happen. And then look, and as far as the Kalen DeBoer and respect and doesn't demand respect, look, we don't know. And I'll just say this. I know everyone's piling on Kalen DeBoer right now because of the outcome Saturday at Florida State. But we don't know behind closed doors what Kalen DeBoer is doing. He might have respect. He might demand respect. He might be madder than a wet hen right now at practice and screaming at the guys and in the meetings. We don't know what he's saying behind the closed doors. He might be lighting a fire for all we hope.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You look at Coach Bryan and Coach Stallings. They didn't show a lot of outward emotion on the sideline.
Right.
Now, behind closed doors, Your
ass gonna get red.
We don't know what DeBoer's doing behind closed doors. So
right.
Coach Chris Lowe was on the drive last night, talking about the story that he wrote, and I was over there at Dreamland, and and I had a chance to hear him, and he brought up a good point. He said a lot of the heat DeBoer is taking for his demeanor is just simply because of who he's replacing. Because there's not very many Nick Sabans out there, if any. I guess Kirby's maybe the closest. He's very demonstrative on the sidelines and can have some meltdowns, and they're just alike. I mean, they coached together for so long, for over 10 years, but it's just there's not many. And honestly, and you look at it, Lane Kiffin's having some success. He's not winning championships, but he's having success at Ole Miss. Sark is on the right track at Texas. Neither one of them are very demonstrative. But they
have their moments, but
Kirby's the only one that's reached the highest level from Coach Saban, and he's the closest to him. But again, they just don't grow on trees, and I think in some ways DeBoer's probably getting that's a little probably piling on a little bit.
Yes,
I mean, but I will say this: his team needs to play with more emotion and passion itself. The players, they need to take more pride in what they're doing. And they need, and they've got to, in my opinion, they as far as his coaching staff, the team needs to look more fundamentally sound. I mean, they need to, and I've heard already, and Chris Lowe talked about it because he's one of these guys. He's been doing it 35 years. He has the trust of a lot of coaches, and he gets to go to practices and watch an entire practice, not a media viewing period. And he talked about how Alabama's practices are up tempo, they're physical under DeBoer, but it has to translate to the game. Like you need to play like you practice. And so far, in many cases, that hasn't been the case. And that's the one thing DeBoer and his staff are going to have to unlock. How do you get your team to play like you perceive them practicing?
Right.
Because we heard all during off season how good spring practice was and fall camp,
how physical it was, how intense the guys were, how everything was going.
We had not heard at all. I mean, there was injuries, but we had not heard that they didn't prepare well for Florida State. And then they go out there and look awful. So they've got to unlock that, man. They got to figure out how to get this going.
Well, let me ask you this as a final question then. Tell me if Coach Saban, Coach Bryant, and Coach Stallings would allow one of his leaders to carry a teddy bear with them onto the Walk of Champions, because it's a Walk of Champions even when you're on the road. Help me understand that and tell me that, we got really good institutional control in Alabama.
What do you? Okay. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you: Do you think Coach Saban? Do you think Coach Stallings? Do you think they're sitting there watching the Walk of Champions, saying, "Oh my gosh, why are they letting this happen to Alabama?" They're not sitting there doing that.
No.
They're not. The fans are the ones sitting there doing that, and. If a player wants to walk with something, they're going to walk with it. You have to let them do it because that's the way they're going to have to do it. The players themselves have got to dig down deep. And like Drew said, they are the ones that have got to come out and play with the emotion. The coaches have put the emotion in them. The coaches have put them through everything at practice. The players are the ones that have got to stand up and deliver and make this happen. They're the ones that are making the money. They're the ones that are getting the NIL. And if they're not going to do it, then you rip their ass behind the doors.
Well, and then here's another thing, too. Chris Lowe said this, and I agree with. I mean, Nick Saban did a great job of empowering his alpha dogs and his leaders to self-police the program.
Right.
And, and Chris said he's seen them do that at practice. They're going to have to start doing it in the games. The players are going to have to – there's got to be more discipline in the program, which I think is Mark's point.
Right.
And I understand that. Now, I mean, is a Tyrannosaurus Rex like – we don't even know who gave him that. It could be a kid that means a lot to him, things of that nature. I've heard of, behind-the-scenes stuff with Saban where – young kids would give one of his players a poster. They put it up on the wall, all this kind of stuff. We don't know. I mean, certainly, it's different, but I don't think Saban would have been self-policing that because, again, I think these kids there would be more self-discipline on the field, even though people point out the last couple of years that it started to slip under Coach Saban too. So I don't know, but I don't think that's the biggest deal. I just think, like Scott said, these guys have to self-police themselves. They've got to start, and the coaches have to continue to reinforce things. I mean, you have to when you see that lack of self-discipline. You have to, and like Scott said, if it continues to happen, dudes are going to have to be benched or going to have to be, ripped behind closed doors, and perhaps they are. We heard some of that stuff this week, so we're going to find out.
But I'll say this too
tomorrow, and then in the coming weeks. If it's getting any better with this program.
And I'll say this, if Alabama had gone out and won by 20 at Florida State,
nobody cared.
Everybody would have thought, oh, how cute it is, and this is so cute, and everybody would have ran out and tried to get one.
Everything is magnified.
Yeah, everything.
Every little thing.
All right, Mark, thanks for the phone call.
Thank you, guys.
7:16 on a Friday. Let's get our first break in. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on lifted, deep left, back goes O'Donnell, he looks up, it's done, and it's over! Denzer again, the goose is loose!
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
In the end, we shall achieve in time the thing they call divine. When all the stars.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, and we ended that segment talking about Alabama football. 6:45 tomorrow night. They will be inside Bryant-Denny Stadium taking on UL Monroe. Alabama, a 34.5-point favorite, 49.5. You're over-under.
So they're
that
expecting
one.
it to be low scoring and for Alabama to play much better. And
yes.
And we'll see. I mean, I haven't made a prediction. I've only said that I thought Alabama would win the game. It's tough. I mean, I guess I would pick something along the lines of around the over-under, which
I would say 45-10 maybe.
Or 42.
I'm going to say 45-10.
I'm going to say 42-7. And, if it ends up, 24-10 or God forbid 2007, then just get ready. Because, I mean, coaching searches are going to be underway.
Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt tomorrow, 6:30 on the ACC network. Virginia Tech, a 2.5-point favorite. This is the game that launched Diego Pavia last year. I know
this
the Alabama game,
Vanderbilt, man.
That Alabama game catapulted him into another universe.
Yeah.
But this game last year kind of put him and kind of helped put Vanderbilt, kind of opened up eyes a little bit because this was one of those first wins for them. They are going to travel this year to Virginia Tech. So this is where, remember all those offseason talks about Diego Pavia and how he's going to, they feel like they're good and national, the national championship sites and all this stuff. This is where the rubber hits the road for him and the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and look, his cousin Thomas Castellanos, talked and backed it up all summer.
Right.
So we'll see if Diego can. And certainly he's done a great job of playing with a chip on his shoulder wherever he's been, at New Mexico State. And then obviously before that on the JUCO level. And then at Vanderbilt, getting him to a bowl win and beating Georgia Tech, who beat Deion Sanders, who decided had 2 timeouts that he didn't need to use. And then told the media that they stepped out of bounds twice, and that's why they didn't use them, which ended up being a lie. And that's your Sportsman of the Year 2 years ago from Sports Illustrated, because he won 3 more games than I guess it was Carl Durrell, who went 1-11, and Deion went 4-8, and that was considered Sportsman of the Year.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which was one of the biggest jokes, and really lost Sports Illustrated a lot of credibility with me, because I don't know how you can do that when the dude still had a losing record. But like I said, Georgia Tech beats Colorado in Boulder 27-20. I think Colorado's on the way to a losing record, because I don't think Deion can coach his way out of a sandbox. And
agreed.
And and look, Deion's one of the greatest athletes of all time. I grew up, I loved Deion. Okay. But I just don't – I don't think he can coach. I think his son, Shedeur, was a good college quarterback. I really do. He was good, really good player. Still has a chance maybe to develop in the NFL, but obviously when we saw him in training camp, he's got a ways to go. And then I don't think Shiloh can play at all, but again, he wasn't even playing at South Carolina, and I don't think he would have played in a Power 4 school if it hadn't been for his father throwing him a lifeline. But again, it's just one of those things. But I think as far as to swing back to Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia, this is a big time opportunity. I mean, because Virginia Tech, they had a tough loss, a physical one to South Carolina. This is their home opener, but Vanderbilt could go on the road and really, while the Alabama embarrassed the hell out of the conference,
they could pick up a little
Vanderbilt
piece.
could pick up some of that slack.
Yep. All right, let's get to Sean real fast on the phone lines. Good morning, Sean.
What's up, man?
Hey, how are y'all?
Good.
Doing well. Have you recovered yet? Because I saw your Facebook post, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all right. It's just a game. But after sitting back thinking about it,
yeah,
all the Alabama fans are blaming DeBoer. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. He's not been throwing stuff, breaking stuff on the sideline. Just sitting back looking at it, man, I really think that it's the players getting paid. I think it's made them soft. And I mean, they have no fear of getting benched like they used to. I mean, you can tell me I'm wrong if you think so. But
is that a lot of NIL stuff, do you think? Is that's
what Sean's saying?
Culture
I think it's from NIL. I think the coaches are afraid if they bench them, they're going to leave. This, that, and the other, because it's the transfer portal / NIL, and there's no. If here's the thing. When Saban was coaching, and I know there's no more Saban, players played till they heard that whistle blow. They didn't quit. On Saturday, I can't tell you how many times I've seen players just stop in the middle and look, and then walk into the huddle or to the line. They never would have done that under Saban, or anybody else.
There's nothing wrong with the talent, the X's and O's, the Jimmys and Joes, the scheme, anything. I think it's just there's no fear of them getting benched anymore.
And that's a valid point. I mean, that's and that's why. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Finish your thought.
I'm still behind Coach DeBoer. I like him. I think he's going to do good things, but he's got to figure out how to get through to the players. Because you even heard Josh Pate say it. He went to several Alabama practices. He said it was the most physical practices he's seen in a long time.
Right.
He said he even picked Alabama to win the national championship.
So judging by, and not just Sean, but I mean, judging by the words we've heard, that they can be physical. They can be tough. It's just got to translate from what they do on the practice field into the game field.
There's no accountability.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the leaders we're supposed to have. We just don't have that grit and dog mentality that we used to have that everybody feared.
And that's a valid point. I mean, with the change in the head coach and the change in coordinators, everything's different. It's what I said earlier, Sean. They just have to. This staff has to figure out what buttons to push. And in a lot of ways,
exactly.
they're only a year and a game into it, and people are making snap judgments, just like Jordan Rodgers, who A, wouldn't be on television if he wasn't a Rodgers, which is brother being Aaron, and B, would have never been on The Bachelorette without being Aaron Rodgers' brother, and C, was only an average player at Vanderbilt, but he's taking victory laps saying Arch Manning's not going to be any good after one game. We'll see what Arch Manning's bank account looks like in another 2 years, and what Jordan Rodgers looks like.
Was Aaron's brother. Here's my thing. Under Saban, if you made stupid, like unsportsmanlike penalties and stuff that you can control, if you wasn't doing your job, if you was not playing to your potential, your ass would be on the bench.
Yeah.
And you'd have to work your way back up through practice squad, special teams, whatever. There's none of that.
All right, Sean, thanks for the phone call as well.
Some valid points.
All right, guys.
Let's get one more in real fast. Let's get to Brandon. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
Got a neighbor lives 2 doors down the street from me that coaches at the private school, Darlington here. He dressed 28 players the other night, and he went to Ridgeland High School, who was dressing like 70 players, and beat them in 4 overtimes.
Yep.
And that's a big group of kids and some big bodied kids. He's undersized at every position.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching matters.
It does. I've said that. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does matter, NIL or not. I agree.
He gets 100. I tell him he's Chris Kleiman. He gets 100% out of the players he's got week in and week out, and they give him everything. And they show up and they go play, and these schools are like, man, how are we in a game with a school this small? It's because they refuse to back down, and they're going to fight you to the end, whether you got 20 pounds on them, 100 pounds, or you're a foot taller than them. They don't care. They've got that attitude that the school has always been perceived as a rich, soft school. Well, buddy, I promise you it's not now. I mean, Tate Ratledge went to school there. And watching what he does with those guys and the mentality they have, it's just different. And you can tell that it starts with the coaching staff and works its way down to the players. And there's just something to be said for that. And I'm not on the fire DeBoer bandwagon, but I feel like he does need to do something different in getting the message. And I feel like he needs to carry himself different. I would love to see him with a little more of an edge and a little more. I would love for him to actually look like he was mad about what happened last week. And I'm not really convinced that he is. I think he may be puzzled. He may not be happy, but he don't look like he's mad enough to satisfy the fans. Is that a good way to put that?
Right. And I see. I mean, you look at him when he does his interviews, he still has the smile on his face. He walks around and smiles.
I don't see no smile.
Right. But the thing is we, like I said, though, we don't know what is he doing behind closed doors? What is he doing in a team practice? What is he doing to the guys in the locker room? What is he doing? What is he saying to everyone in the team meetings? He may be this persona when he sits down with the media or whatever, and he's just kind of, whatever. But
I agree with you on that. I guess it's what you put out in public, perception is reality to people, and they want you to be as mad as they are.
Well, I think the perception is reality because Alabama fans are so used and was so accustomed to Nick Saban being a certain way for so long and delivering that message through the media and showing it through the media that they expect Kalen DeBoer to do the same thing. But Kalen DeBoer is not Nick Saban. No. He's his own guy.
And I want him to be himself.
And he is himself. Yes. And so I think that is where the separation is.
Because I saw a coach that wouldn't be himself, and he failed, and that was Mike DeBose. He couldn't decide who he was as a head coach.
Right.
And he wasn't one. And that's just kind of the way it worked out, at least on the college level.
No, I think you're right.
But, that's just – you want – so, again, what my point is this. I agree with Brandon. I'm not on the fire him train. I'm fascinated to see if he can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm on the Freddie Roach firing train. I will throw a party the minute he's on a Greyhound bus out of town.
And you've been on that train.
And I'm really evaluating, Kane Womack. But I thought he finished strong last year. It was an F the first game. Let's see, how they play this weekend.
Well, I've just told some Alabama friends, I was like, look, just treat it like the movie Encino Man. I was like, dig yourself up this Saturday, and let's see what happens. And let's continue to go forward. Which Encino Man was a heck of a movie. I watched it Wednesday.
Yeah,
that's Encino Man was a good one. All right, Brandon, thanks for the phone call.
Appreciate it, Brandon. Have a good weekend, bro.
Tied up against a break here. We've got to get one in. When we come back, yes, Westminster Christian Academy going to join the show. And we'll preview tonight's game with JP2 coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. A little bit of rainfall, maybe a few thunderstorms in the forecast for this Friday night after about 10 o'clock. Expect to continue to sit under mostly clouds with low temperatures falling into the upper 60s. Heading into Saturday, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll see partly sunshine with high temperatures warming into the low 80s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army. At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
The Atlanta Braves.
Cranks one high in the air to deep left field. That's going to fly away. It's a 3-run homer. And Sean Murphy off the injured list and onto the stat page with a 3-run homer off Zach Wheeler.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, 7:37 here on a Friday morning. We said we would talk NFL football, we'd talk college football, and we'd set the table for some high school football. The only one we have not touched base on is the high school side, and we'll do that now because there are plenty, and I mean, there's some very entertaining games going on across North Alabama tonight. One of those, if you download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, all you got to do is click on the Westminster Christian Academy logo, and you'll be able to listen to Westminster Christian Academy welcome JP2 tonight. And this is the third week, really, for some teams. Some teams will be playing 4 games. It is hard to believe that for both of these two teams, tonight will mark the second region game of the season. And if you start looking at it, you start looking at what lies ahead for both teams. You start looking who they've already played. Tonight's game for JP2 and Westminster Christian Academy is a monster football game if you want to have hopes of putting yourself in position to grabbing one of those 4 playoff spots. I know you say there's a lot of football left, and you don't really want
to. If you still want to host too.
Yes, I mean tonight's game is monster because last week JP2 at home tripped up by Madison County. Westminster Christian Academy tripped up by Plainview.
Well, I mean both JP2 and of course Westminster Christian Academy. And our next guest is the 10th year head coach of the Wildcats. They had tough football games. They were good football games. They were tough against tough opponents, and now both have to bounce back, and Westminster Christian Academy will be hosting the JP2 Falcons, a program that they've had a lot of success against, 9-0, but it's a JP2 program under Kevin Crehan that looks much improved. And I know our next guest will agree with that. And I know they're looking forward to the challenge of bouncing back tonight. It's a very resilient program at Westminster. And he told us last week that was going to be a tough Plainview team they were going to be playing. And it certainly was. And we're going to talk to Louis LeBlanc about that right now. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, man. How are you guys?
We're doing well. And you told us last week about Owen Hope and how tough he was and what a great athlete. And he certainly lived up to that, Coach. And I know it's a tough football game for your guys. I know you battled, for 4 quarters, but Plainview under the stewardship of the Pruitt family, to a good football team.
Man, a great football team and big guys, man. They did a great job. And both of us, both teams, had some mistakes, and so the mistakes, were kind of canceled out. And in the end, man, they won by 9, and it was a good, hard fought game, and a lot of lessons learned. And if you had to have a loss, you'd rather have one early in the season, have time to learn from it, and a lot of teaching, off of that film, and much rather teach off a win, and but a lot to learn from that loss, and I believe in the end it can make us a better team.
What was the thing that you learned the most?
Well, I got a lot of seniors, but overall, I feel like we have a young team, and I just mean that from whether it's a coaching staff or some guys in spots, especially defensively, and so learning, communication, learning the little things that led to big mistakes, and I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people matured after that, but I mean, we just, Cali guys, I mean, we needed to play a little bigger up front on defense, and we got some of that corrected, and then we just, the mistakes, just a fumble on the 2 is always hard to recover from, but at the same time, Plainview had a couple of fumbles, and we scored on one of them, so like I said, some of those mistakes were canceled, but we can't live, in hopes of the other team canceling our mistakes. And so a lot of growing up, and then, just overcoming some injuries. Some guys are, stepping into some roles and kind of getting thrust into that limelight. And that's what high school football is all about. Those guys that are maybe in the summer didn't think they were going to have much of a role. And then all of a sudden here they are, they're in it. And, so that could be really fun also as a coach and in a program where you see guys stepping up and doing things that maybe they themselves didn't know they could do. And so that's, I think a lot of that was in play Friday, and proud of the guys, the way they fought, the way they kept coming after it. And we just came up short.
Mm-hmm. And Coach, I know just from looking at the numbers, you guys had been really good offensively early on in the season, but Plainview was a kind of a different animal. It's almost like they made you guys earn every yard.
Sure. And that's to be expected from a Jeremy Pruitt defense. I mean, they were very sound, multiple fronts, pressure. They, just had a great game plan, and I felt like our guys were doing some things to counter it and to gain some yardage and move the ball. But in the, like I said, in the end, you can't fight yourself too, and expect to be successful against, a strong defensive plan and some guys that can execute it. And, but I still think we're, finding that rhythm offensively of who we are and what we are, and those guys that can step into that role to accomplish that.
Tonight, you mentioned players that can get it done. JP2 heads there to Westminster Christian Academy. They have they have some guys that can get it done. Joey Ross can sling the ball around the field. Mark Andrzejewski can, we've seen what he can do on both sides of the ball. Great receiver, great defensive player.
Can run the ball.
He can run the ball. That they've got some multiple looks that they'll throw at you guys tonight. It's going to be another challenge.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Coach Crehan has done a great job. I really have enjoyed getting to know him over the last couple of years, and his heart's in the right spot, wanting what's best for those young men, and I can see the improvement on the field, and looks like guys are buying into what he's doing, and as you mentioned, a much different looking JP2 team than maybe in years past, and so. Man, Ross, Andrzejewski, them guys, I've been hearing those names for years. And, man, it's about time to graduate, but yeah, those guys, you can tell they've been playing together for a while. They look like guys that have been through some stuff, and they're ready to get what's theirs, and so that's a motivated team, and that's always a danger, right? And so our team's hungry and wants to continue on, obviously, in the path that we've been on, but you can definitely tell a difference. Coach is doing some really good things there.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to up front too, because much like I know it was tough to stop the Plainview running game, JP2 had trouble containing the tailback at Madison County that I know you guys are going to face later on. But still, it's going to come down to kind of the old school to me, who can run the football, who can stop the run, and then there'll probably be some opportunities to make a few plays in the passing game. But it's interesting that it looked like kind of both you guys, them with Madison County, and then you with Plainview, kind of had the same tough matchup and going to have to bounce back tonight.
Oh man, yes sir. That's something that we've always wanted to be strong in that run game, and it's such a vital part. No matter who you've got back there at quarterback, whether that quarterback's a runner or a drop back passer, and obviously more so when he's not a runner, and but to be able to control that line of scrimmage, to be able to set up the passing game, it's been a focus, year in and year out for us. And last year was really proud of Evan McClure and stepping into being a running back and getting over 1,200 yards, as a first-year running back, as a senior. And so those, that's the call that we've got to answer again this year. And I'm excited again, those senior offensive linemen working together, and then the evolution of Saber Kim and seeing what he can do back there. And but it would be something that's a challenge that's going to have to be met, week in and week out for these young men. And it's not just going to be handed to them. And again, I think that's what makes football such a great sport, man. There's guys and they're motivated. They want to stop what you're doing, and it comes down to a test of wills. And that gets me excited about coaching.
What's a couple of the biggest keys for that win tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Man, we have to play our game. We've got to be in tune with where their playmakers are, and then we've got to cut out mistakes. We've got a lot of guys playing one way, and that's got to mean that we're fresh and we're moving and we're doing what we want to do, and we're not fighting ourselves, And watching the film last week, I was up till like 3 a.m. on Saturday, just watching it over and over again and taking notes and just feeling sick to my stomach of just watching the mistakes, little easy things that, we could have controlled, we could have prevented, and put ourselves in a better position to win the game. So it's one thing if you just get manhandled. It's another thing when the other team is doing well, but you're having some setbacks that you've caused. And so that's my job, to make sure that doesn't happen. And so I felt like we've had a great week of practice, and it culminated with a great practice yesterday. Everybody was crisp. Everybody knew what they were doing. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. And so several of the coaches kind of made a remark about that. And so I do feel like the guys have seen what we wanted them to see from that film. And so now the hope is we don't go out there and make those same mistakes that we did last week. So that's probably going to be job one tonight.
Well, seeing your kids respond, that's a part of coaching and teaching, and that's the best feeling in the world, really, because it shows you that they respect you and they're locked in. And like Scott said at the start of the segment, Coach, this is a huge game for playoff positioning for you.
Oh, man. I mean, everybody needs to be in a 9-team region at least once. So, you listen to these guys that talking about that first week. Oh man, it's a non-region game.
Yeah.
And then here we are, man. We're playing our second one, and you're right. It's that Plainview game last year had major implications at the end of the season, and but hey, that's high school football, and that was those are the cards we were dealt as far as what region we're in, and honestly, we talk about that with our kids, but again, I can only control what we can control. So we have to go out and play great. We have to win our games, and then the rest is going to have to take care of itself. And it does add that pressure, right? Every game matters, and you don't want to get into those, tiebreaker L and tiebreaker P and all that other stuff. You want to just be able to say at the end of the season, hey, here we are. this is us. We've secured a spot, and you don't want to have to be relying on things out of your control. So let's control what we can control. And so that's been the mantra. And so instead of trying to heap extra pressure on the guys and man, this guy's going to have playoff, we gotta just really simmer them down and say, this is what we can control. We can get lined up. We can get our eyes where we're supposed to be. We can hold on that football. And if we can do that, then I think we'll be in a good spot when the season's done and we're talking about postseason.
No doubt. Well, Earl Van Dyke Stadium tonight, 7 o'clock. The Westminster Christian Academy Wildcats taking on the JP2 Falcons. We will have the call for you on our streaming network. We look forward to that. We're proud to be the home of Westminster Christian Academy Wildcat football. Coach, good luck. We always appreciate the visits and hope we can get that W tonight.
Yes, sir. Man, me too. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Louis LeBlanc, kind enough to join us. And again, that interview brought to you by our very good friend, SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives, the official medical and providers for the Westminster Christian Academy Wildcats. Let's get a break in. Wrap up hour one coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know it's hot outside, so cool down with an upright or chest freezer in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get an under-counter ice machine with a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or how about a fridge out by the pool or in the garage for extra cold drinks? You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $3.49 while supplies last. Go to owenappliance.com to learn more. That's owenappliance.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
So we just had Louis LeBlanc on the phone.
Yeah.
But I wanted to touch on this real fast because we've been talking high school football, and it all kind of came to a head yesterday.
Right.
Alabama Governor Kay Ivey is suing the Alabama High School Athletic Association over the new Choose Act. And I don't know, do you know, I mean, the Choose Act gives individuals the right to use a financial credit. I believe it's like $7,000. You can choose to attend any school that you would like to attend to that participates. So if you want to go to Randolph, Madison Academy, Westminster Christian Academy, you can do so if they participate, and you get a $7,000 credit. Now, the problem is the High School Athletic Association says if you use this and you transfer, you have to sit out a year. You cannot participate in athletics for a year. The state, Governor Ivey, is suing the High School Athletic Association because she says that this whole rule was so that they could participate, they could choose a school and give a child a true choice in their education, and that includes athletics. The state fired back yesterday and said, we are going to uphold this 1-year transfer rule if they use this and transfer to a school. So the state is suing the High School Athletic Association.
I mean, yeah, I haven't really. I saw it yesterday, and I figured that it was probably a situation where she wanted them to Governor Ivey to have immediate eligibility instead of having to sit out. I've always thought that, if you, I've always been in favor that you need to make a move, a physical move. And if you do, you should be eligible. Right. If you move and it's legal and you live there and you're paying rent and all this stuff, then I felt like you should be able to be eligible immediately. Even from a private school, I don't know. I've never really understood having to sit out a whole year just because you're going from private to public and all this other stuff. But, as long as you live within the district of said private school or public school, to me, you should be immediately eligible.
The High School Athletic Association, in part of their statement, said this policy established by our member schools promotes competitive equity and deters recruitment. So they view that this $7,000 allotment that you would get to use
is like NIL to a degree.
Would promote. The Choose Act provides Alabama families with up to $7,000 to spend on private education.
But see, it's just a private school thing?
It's just a private. So if I'm a kid in school and I go to a public school, if I wanted to go to a private school, I could use this and get up to $7,000 off my tuition every year to go to a private school. So the state's worried that the private schools would use it for recruitment.
Everybody already recruits anyway.
But you're not supposed to.
They still do. They're never going to stop.
All right. Hour 2 is upon us. Talking Ball 97.7.
And I'm talking about public or private.
Right. It happens. Bob Godsey next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Chris Hale gets the start for the Atlanta Braves today. $1.44 favorite at home with the Mariners plus 118. The total is 7.5. That is juice to the over. NFL on Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons, a 1.5 underdog against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 46.5 the total at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Buccaneers have won 5 straight as a favorite against NFC South Division opponents. Alabama, 34.5-point home favorite with Louisiana Monroe. Auburn laying 42.5 at home at Ball State. Tulane, a 10-point favorite at South Alabama. UAB, a 3-touchdown dog at Navy. 59.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Hour 2, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Hour 2 is upon us. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center helping us kick off hour number 2, and they will do so because they are the official medical providers once again for the Madison Academy Mustangs. So each and every day they are there with Madison Academy. That means on Friday night they are with the Mustangs as well. And tonight the Mustangs will look to stack one win upon another, and that'll become 2 wins. Tonight, though, they will take on DAR in a home opener.
Yeah, it'll be the first game of the season at Bill Washington Stadium as Madison Academy started the season on the road against a really good Mars Hill Bible team. We talked about that last week with our next guest. And then, of course, they went on the road to a big rival, Randolph. And when Coach Godsey tells us they had a really good week of practice and they're locked in and they're ready to play, they use that. That's the case, and they certainly were. It was a tie game early, but they did an outstanding job in a tough place to play, and were able to get a win over there off Garth Road, 49-7. For their first region win, their first win of the season, and now they're going for 2 in a row as they will be taking on the rebuilding DAR Patriots, who look much improved. They lost to New Hope 42-28 last week, but showing some signs with some young talent of being better, and now Madison Academy trying to stack wins. But Coach Bob Godsey, as always, joins us each week, and we're going to talk some Madison Academy Mustang football. Coach, good morning. You're back with Drew and Scott. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing good. And, Coach, I would imagine you were proud of your football team, the way they handled themselves on the road. As you talked about it, a big rivalry, one that's been very emotional the last few years. Been some great football games, but it was a very good performance for your football team last week.
I think we did make progress. As I mentioned to you last week, we had a really good week of practice. We talked about the first week that you learn a lot, and that was an eye-opening experience against a very, very good football team. We did some good things that we were able to build on. There was also some an eye-opening experience for some areas where we really needed to get better, and I think we made progress in those areas. I think we continue to do that this week. But one of the things that we've tried to emphasize with our guys is, is we've had a couple of guys really make some big strides this week in practice, but we need to see that on Friday nights, not just in practice. So hopefully we can see that tonight, to see that improvement for these specific young men to experience that improvement and gain some confidence. And I think that's probably more important than anything right now, in that we gained some confidence last week.
Yeah, and how good was it to get that confidence, to gain some of that experience, because you opened up in region play last week. I mean, you did not have another non-region game to kind of fine-tune everything, to try to figure things out. You jumped right into region play.
Well, like I said, it was a region game, a big rival, going over there. A lot of things to wear on a young team's mind, but they were able to focus really on the things that they could control, and that was being ready to play. And even though we still kind of fight some of those young team things in terms of consistency and being focused all the time. We still had 2 turnovers. We had a couple of silly penalties, just, unwarranted penalties, false starts, things of that nature. We're still striving to get all of those type things cleaned up. From a defensive standpoint, we were much more physical. We played much harder. We were a lot more assignment oriented, and played, other than, one play, really, we played very well defensively. So that was good to see.
And Coach, it's interesting what you brought up about young men making strides in practice, but you want to translate it over to the football field tonight under the lights. We were kind of talking about that with the University of Alabama, how we were hearing they were practicing so well, but then theirs didn't translate against Florida State in Tallahassee onto the field. As you've coached in your career, what is the key to getting players to translate a great week of practice or preparation as you see guys getting better, but then translate it to when you're playing under the lights?
Well, that I think that is the $1 million question for all of us as coaches. Is how do you take it from the practice field to the game? Number one is you just got to keep taking them there, keep leading them there, and we kind of figured that out last year, in terms of it was obvious that we were getting better early in the season each week, but it wasn't necessarily translating into wins. But so you have to keep them motivated. You have to keep them understanding when it's really a life lesson in that you just got to keep battling and keep fighting and block out the outside noise, block out expectations, block out being disgruntled, whatever it might be, anything that takes away from your focus of playing. I think one thing too that helps is trying to keep things simple to where they can play fast and try to play carefree. But you can simulate things in practice, but you just can't produce it for them. So it's all a learning experience. I think we played a lot more carefree, especially on defense the other night. It just, once again, a growing experience, really. And, we want to continue to grow. We want to play better tonight, play harder tonight, tackle better tonight, block better tonight, things like that.
The ability to play free, and you mentioned that, play faster, play free. Lots of times when we say play faster, people think tempo, but the ability to not think, just to go out there and play, that all comes with experience, right?
It does come with experience, and it goes back to the confidence thing that we're talking about here. And the only way that I really know to accomplish that is just repetition. Just continue to do it till you get to a point that you are comfortable. And then you once you experience some success in a game, you get that confidence. We had some young guys that played well the other night, and they have practiced so much faster this week just because they have a little bit of confidence from making a catch, making a run, making some tackles. They played so much more confidence. So you hope that continues to grow, and there's going to be setbacks along the way, with these guys. Which are challenges, and so another opportunity to overcome, to fight through the difficulties that are going to come your way, because we're going to be challenged every week, some form or fashion, every day really in our lives. And the beauty of it is handling those challenges, facing those challenges, not running from them or giving into them.
And then I know he transferred into your program, but talk about the game Dalen Scott had. I mean, he really did a good job running the football for you and making some plays. And of course, we know Charleston Owens is a big part of what you do, and he certainly was able to turn a broken play into a touchdown. But talk about Dalen Scott, Coach.
Well, he's, once again, even though he's a senior, he's new to our program. His brother played for us, a couple of years ago, and so he's been around our program before. But and in playing running back, which is kind of a new position for him, something he hadn't done in a while, so he's growing with confidence there as he is now. He kind of understands the plays. He understands what we're doing, and you can rep it as many times you want in practice. But now he has 2 games in his, under his belt to where he's played pretty well, and so everything that we've discussed here about playing with confidence and playing faster and running tougher and all of those type things, you hope to see another step forward from him. But he, awesome kid that's worked extremely hard, from the moment that he got here, fits in well with all of our guys. I think that's important when you have a new guy that comes in. I think it's important that they come in with the desire to fit in and do their part. Not have people change for them. And Dalen has certainly done that. He's come in to with the attitude of, what can I do to help? Where do you need me? And he's done an excellent job there. With anything we've asked him to do. I think our leaders on our team have done a good job of leading him and making him feel comfortable. All of those are moving parts, in a team that are important, that maybe aren't. There's no stat line, for those type things. But in terms of building a team, whether it's a new guy coming into the program or we've got some freshmen playing, we've got an 8th grader playing. It's all about getting those guys comfortable and allowing them, giving them the best environment to be successful.
Bob Godsey, head coach of the Madison Academy Mustangs, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. This interview being brought to you by Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. Coach, tonight it is DAR at home. You look at the Patriots, and yes, they got tripped up last week in their regional opener to New Hope, but they come in vastly improved.
Well, first off, Matt Putnam's been around some really good teams and knows how to coach football, obviously. So he's there and is willing to be patient and build something there. And he has done that, before, whether it was Hazel Green or wherever else. But anyway, they are much improved from where they were. The big thing for us is that we're finally at home after 3 weeks of being on the road and playing other places. We finally get to play at home. We want that to be exciting. We want that to be a positive. We don't want to be a distraction in terms of, we're at home and we lose our focus and that type of thing. So we're excited about playing at home and, in our own stadium and looking forward to a big crowd. We got the little MA nights. We got all the little guys, coming out and did a big pep rally with those folks yesterday. And it was fun for our seniors, and they did an awesome job with the elementary kids. And so we're looking forward to a big night. But the biggest thing is just it's exciting to be at home for a change.
No question. And Coach, I know one of the keys to the game tonight, and I know it was certainly a key to the win at Randolph. Your defensive line and both lines of scrimmage, offensive and defensive lines, played exceptionally well. As you said, played much more physical, and I know that's got to be one of the keys tonight in order to get a home win at Bill Washington Stadium against DAR.
No question. I think every game is going to start up there, and we were a lot more active and a lot more physical up front. We played pretty well up front. 2 weeks ago, we played even better last week, so we want that to continue to grow. But we played much better up front defensively last week and had some guys make some plays, had some negative plays, created some turnovers defensively. So we want to continue to do that as we see, a similar offense to what we saw 2 weeks ago against Mars Hill. Now, they don't have quite the cats that Mars Hill had running it, but same scheme, and so we'll be forced to do some tough things in order to be successful defensively.
Well, we will have Steve Moulton and Glenn Laird on the call for the home opener, 4A Region 8, second region game for Madison Academy as they look to go 2-0 in region play. Coach, we always enjoy the insight and the talking some Mustang football with you. Good luck tonight in that home opener. Hopefully a big crowd with great weather. Hopefully the weather will hold off and you will have an outstanding night and get that W. But we always appreciate the time, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate what you guys do for high school football.
All right, thanks, Bob Godsey. Kind enough. 7 o'clock kickoff there. 7 o'clock kickoff for all high school football games across North Alabama tonight. 97.7 ESPN The Zone, your home for several of those. Just download the app and click on the one you want to listen to. Let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. Phone lines open to you next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
TalentHVAC.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision-making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision-making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone. Listen to the Woody Anderson Ford Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Each Friday night with Scott Tyson on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I just had to let that go because I didn't know where it was going. Anyway, welcome back. Talking about 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's go out to the phone lines. B. Rich is with us on a Friday morning. Good morning, B. Rich.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning,
Man,
sir.
what another fabulous weekend of football we got in front of us. I'm hoping to make it up to Milton Frank tonight. Maybe just a tad late to watch the Battle of South Huntsville. I heard you guys have Judah on, Coach Judah on yesterday. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I've really got a lot of ties to both programs here, but there seemed to be a little quiet confidence with Coach Judah, and I know they've played well in their jamboree game and then their first game against Lee. But I think this will probably be the first true test for both these teams. So I'm excited about that. And then Saturday, Drew, I always love it when you used to call this school this nickname, but those Sun Devils from ASU are going to play down at Klanga. So I think that's going to be a sneaky good game. And
I do too.
I love it when I always get chuckled, Drew, when you call them Klanga, because that just for some reason
Klanga. Yeah.
Remember, Jake Crane picked Arizona State outright to win.
No,
he picked Mississippi State. My bad. Mississippi State outright to win the game.
I took the points. I don't know if they'll win, but Jake did take straight up. He
Mississippi
took Mississippi State.
Right. And a lot of people, saw that Netflix SEC stuff, and Jeff Lovey's a very easy guy to like, and he seems like very pro players coach. But we'll see. I don't. ASU didn't really play anybody their first week. I think they played NAU.
Didn't play anybody last year.
Yeah, right. So you curious to see what they can do without Cam Scatterby, because I think that's going to be the big thing. But they got Sam Levitt coming back, who's a very, very good quarterback. Mm-hmm. They returned their top wide receiver who was hurt at the end of last year. And I know he's a very good player. So I think that, to me, that's one of the I don't even know if it's really off the radar, because outside of Oklahoma and Michigan, there's not a lot of great games. But that'll be the one I'm most excited to watch. So.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham's done a remarkable job. He's a very young guy. He took a team last year that was picked last, and they won the league. And then I thought acquitted themselves very well in the playoffs. So, again, a lot to build on, and we'll see, how far Mississippi State has come, because State did play them tough in Tempe, but the Sun Devils got it done and then continued to get better as the year went on.
They did, and we'll see how Kenny Dillingham can play with expectations. It's a lot of Tuberville used to be the king of that, have a great season when there were no expectations. And then when they were picked high, they would, always fall flat. So expectations can put a lot of pressure on guys. And they were within an earshot of beating Texas there in the playoffs. So it should be a great game. But hey, listen, y'all enjoy it. The Falcons do start football Sunday with a divisional game. So they're a 1.5 underdog at home. So, we'll see if they can play with a little more physicality than my other favorite team. So, if they can start 1-0, that'll be better than my Tide. So we shall see. But hey, it's going to be another great slate. So I just wanted to check in with you guys, tell y'all to have a great weekend, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate you.
NFL season gets cranked up in earnest this weekend. You know what? Yesterday, and I did not mention this yesterday because we herald this show as we put this show on a pedestal, and rightfully so. 53 years ago yesterday.
Right, Joy. 19,000 watt. 19,000 watt, Joy. You can use the one twice. You can't do that. 19,000 watt. 19,000. Now, what, please tell me, do you have here? 19,300. 5 numbers. You've written 1930. 19,302. No, Joy. Now, come on. Let's go.
3 years ago,
You lose your turn if you don't.
Right debuted, or
That's a
actually
very
yesterday,
young Bob Barker.
with Bob Barker as the host.
All right, write it out now.
And
Finish it off. You used the one twice there.
It was a lot louder back then. A lot of people yelling.
Now, you've used the one here twice. Here are the 5 numbers. Using those 5 numbers, write it down. 13,000 watts.
They're saying no.
19,000 watts. 19,200. You've used the one twice.
This is not a repeat.
You've used the one twice, Joy. Look, right down here.
Where's the
What do you
cliffhanger?
want? You want to write 19,000? Write it down.
This is
Write it down.
probably one of the
19,000.
greatest clips.
Now you have the 3, you have the 2, and you have the 0 left. $320. And no, one more chance. One more chance. 21,000. All right, now you have the 3, the 0, and the 9 left. Go ahead. 9, 0. No, you.
And the crowd goes wild.
Anyway, 53 years ago yesterday, Bob Barker, Price is Right. We herald the show on here. We love the show. Just not in its format that it is now.
Well, I mean, it's different.
It's different, but the old games back then, Barker's beauties.
Well, I mean, I wonder how much taxes he had to pay on that. That was a car, I'm assuming.
That was a car. That was a car that she won. Yeah. But anyway, Bob had the patience of a saint during that show. But anyway, 256-576-4977. You want to join the program, you can. Got a lot of stuff now. Now, tonight on the high school level, if you are driving around North Alabama, we do have the Battle of Madison tonight. Big game over Madison City School Stadium. Bob Jones, James Clemens tonight.
The Madison Bowl.
The Madison
Should
Bowl.
be a sellout.
Yep. James Clemens, Bob Jones. James Clemens, by the way, has won 6 of the last 7 meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Jones' last win in that series coming in 2022. A good one. 5th-ranked Gunnersville. They're going to open up region play tonight on the road. They're going to take on Brewer tonight. Ardmore is looking to start the year 3-0 for the second straight season. They're going to take on Priceville, who, by the way, they're also trying to start the year 3-0. So that's another good one going on tonight. There is a battle of ranked teams. We got a couple battles of ranked teams. 6th-ranked Fife going to be at home tonight, taking on 10th-ranked Collinsville. That is in Class 3A. And then 3rd-ranked team in Class 2A, Fife or Pisgah, is going to welcome Section tonight. That is a good one. 4th-ranked or 3rd-ranked in Class 4A, West Morgan, they're going to welcome West Limestone tonight. So those are some of the good matchups that we have going on all across North Alabama. So, and then you got Milton Frank Stadium. You've got Huntsville and Grissom. You will be on the Rocket City rivalry tonight.
Yeah, Michael Seal and I will be on the call. The Huntsville Crimson Panthers under head coach Jimmy Gay in year number 2. It was a close game last year. It was a really competitive game in the rivalry, 30-27. Huntsville held on to the win. So Huntsville leads the all-time series 35-19. But as we know, and you heard B. Rich talking about it, it's the Battle of South Huntsville. So definitely going to be, is that probably maybe the biggest crowd for Huntsville City football this year. And look forward to it. Two very passionate student bodies that will be rooting, for their squads to get a W. And like we said, Preston Judah, who we had on yesterday, had a lot of success both as a player and coach in this rivalry. It will be his first, though, as the head coach. Yeah. And it'll be Jimmy Gay's second. And certainly he's looking to go 2-0 against the Tigers.
All right, speaking of said coach Jimmy Gay, let's hit the pause button. When we come back, we'll get to Huntsville High head coach Jimmy Gay. Coming up after the break.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast for this Friday. High temperatures soar back into the low 90s with heat index values nearing 100 for the afternoon. No rain in the forecast. Heading into Friday night, a little bit of rainfall introduces itself after the 10 o'clock hour. Expect to see mostly clouds, low temperatures falling into the upper 60s.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Our Falcons play here.
There's battle in the trenches, and there's battles in the trenches that we all like to see, and I think it's stuff that you guys all like to see.
It's a new team and a new season. Catch head coach Raheem Morris and our Falcons this Sunday. It's game one as our Falcons welcome in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kickoff at 1. Catch each and every Falcons game here.
The new season is here. Your home for Falcon football is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
8:33 here on a Friday morning, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome back into the program. And yesterday we stepped onto the Grissom Tigers sidelines and had Preston Judah on, their head coach, as we previewed tonight's Grissom Huntsville game from the Grissom angle. Until this morning, we will step onto the Huntsville Crimson Panther sidelines and we will get a preview from their huddle.
Yes, we will, and it's always great to feature our next guest. He's the second-year head football coach of the Crimson Panthers, off to a nice start, 2-0. Playing well defensively. Have done a good job against the Hazel Green Trojans, winning that game 43-6. And then, of course, a 23-6 win over the Mae Jemison Jaguars, really only giving up a touchdown on the very last play of the game, doing a great job of getting a win against a really athletic squad. And now they look to start region play 1-0 against their rivals from South Huntsville, the Grissom Tigers. And Coach Gay has been kind enough to join us to give us the Crimson Panther side of this rivalry. Coach, good morning. It's great to have you back. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you, sir?
Man, hanging in there.
Well, we're glad to hear that, Coach.
You sound good. You sound like you're ready.
Yeah, you sound like
I am.
No doubt. I mean, I know you've been well versed in this.
In the barn, and we're ready to play. Get this thing kicked off at 7:00.
No question about it. And I hope you had a great walkthrough yesterday. I know everyone's excited. This game means a lot to a lot of people. I know you learned that when you took this job. And we were kind of reminiscing off the air before you came on. It ended up getting a little bit crazy last year. Grissom ran some trick plays. It ended up being a 30-27 game. It wasn't a Picasso, but you got the win. But now I think your team, I know one thing you stressed in the offseason, and speaking with you, I know when we had you at our media day as well, is line of scrimmage being tougher, more physical. And how would you, after breaking down the film of the first two games, how do you think your team has improved in that area, Coach?
Oh, I tell you, tremendously. I think what I told them, and I've said this to our team, is that the two things I'm proud of is that we are a more physical team than we were last year, and also we're playing with a lot more effort. You know, we have a lot of things that we need to clean up, but, you know, I can't be more proud of our kids in those two aspects.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you stepped into this rivalry for the first time last year. What did you learn about it? I mean, what did you take away from it? Because, you know, Preston Judah, he grew up a Grissom, and then he coached there as an offensive coordinator. Now he's back, and he's learned about it. But what did you learn about it coming in for the first time?
You know, it means a lot to the community and the kids. You know, they're right in our backyard. And it means a lot to the community and the kids that we do well against Grissom.
No question about it. And Coach, I wanted to ask you about growth in your program from the first 2 weeks. I know last year one of the sticking points was not playing clean from the quarterback position, but Wyatt Smith, who's a senior who played some QB for you last year, even selflessly moved to H-back and tight end by the end of the year, back at quarterback. How have you felt like he's played the first 2 weeks? Because to me, he looks much more comfortable with what you guys are doing offensively.
From the Jamboree till now, he has been doing a great job.
Yes, sir.
You know, at this time last year, we were probably averaging 3 picks a game, and it was, you know, we wasn't getting consistent play, you know, out of a lot of positions. And it's flipped. You know, that's flipped. He's done a good job. You know, the big thing is he's not turned the ball over. He's made good decisions. He just needs to keep it up.
What has impressed you the most through 2 games about your team?
Playing with effort. You know, against Mae Jemison, you know, there were several breaks in the game. You know, with official conferences, when we had some calls that were questionable, some that, you know, that was legitimate. And it would have been very easy for us just to roll over. Mm-hmm. And we didn't. And that's been the, you know, even with the fall Jamboree, you know, we have got to keep giving great effort on both sides of the ball.
And Coach, I will say too, another improvement that I've seen out of a position group, no doubt and I know you moved Xavier Drake over there, but Bryson Grissom, he had a big touchdown catch last week that I thought kind of put the nail in the coffin. And then a guy that I know you told me was blocking his tail off in game 1. He made a big touchdown catch in game 2. Seems to be making a lot of plays for you, Mikael Ellis. And the wide receiver group seems to be playing better this year, Coach.
Oh, there's no doubt. Mikael, and he's my type of player. He doesn't say anything. He goes out there, he does his job. He's totally selfless. In that game against Hazel Green, Grissom had 11 catches for like 130 yards. Probably 120 of those yards come off a screen.
Yes, sir.
And McKeel was blocking for him. And, that's the type of kid. And that's one of the things that we have to work on, because this team, we have some selfish tendencies. And you can't really be a great team if you are selfish. You got to be selfless. And McKeel demonstrates that. He demonstrates that. He goes out and he performs. He blocks his rear end off. He knows he's not getting the ball. And that's what it takes.
What do you tell your team? I mean, obviously, they're high school kids. They're going to play with emotion tonight. It's an emotional game. It's a rivalry game. Lots of times when you get out there, we see players try to win the game in one play, try to win the game in the first 5 plays. They exert a lot of energy. What do you tell them to kind of balance that energy tonight so that they don't go out there and do something that could cost you guys a game early?
Well, this is our message every week. We want to play selfless. Be selfless. We don't want to be selfish. And that's something that we battle. A couple of those penalties we got last week against Mae Jemison, and I don't care who we're playing. We could be playing anybody. Is that you can't operate when you have selfish people on your team. And go out there, do your job, be selfless, sacrifice for the team. And, you're right. These are high school kids, and emotions do get involved. And we just got to fight through that.
And then, Coach, one of our listeners kind of coached them when they were coming up through youth football and in their previous school. But he wanted to ask about the development. I know he's one of your senior leaders, and you told us that you felt like up front, especially offensively and defensively, was going to be kind of the identity of this team. How have you, especially from a defensive line perspective, how do you think if they've played so far? And I know Frank Vigorita is a big part of that.
Yeah, he does. And that's another kid that I'm proud of. Last week, he gave tremendous effort. I mean, I think the defensive line, they gave tremendous effort overall. They ran sideline to sideline. They didn't take plays off. And, I'm proud of that group. And I think Frank, he's a leader. And, I think he exemplifies what we want out of our players is do your job, give great effort.
Mm-hmm. And then, Coach, I know you wanted to see progress out of the running game. You felt like you'd left some yards on the field against Hazel, and you felt like some creases were there. How did you think the running game did last week, and how big a key is it tonight against Grissom to continue to be balanced? Because you've thrown the football pretty well in the first 2 games, but Jackson Spencer's a big part of that. Certainly, Sellers has done a good job. But talk about the running game. And I know you've been without Cinco Dawkins too, but how did you think the running game came along?
Well, there again, there were some creases there that we needed to hit. I was disappointed when we was 4th and short.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
On the goal line. Obviously I've not done a very good job coaching them because that was a miss. That was just a mistake. And so we just got to go back to the drawing board and make sure they understand what we want.
Don't give too much away because I know coaches don't do this, but just kind of give us a little bit of the X's and O's tonight, what it's going to take to find success against the Grissom offense and find success against that defense.
Well, I don't think it's giving anything away because the keys to victory for us are going to remain the same. Hold on to the football on offense. Don't have any stupid penalties, and play with great effort. Defense, you got to tackle, you got to lock up. You don't want anybody to get behind you. If they send out 4 receivers, you need to have 4 people out there recovering them.
And
It's not too complicated.
Yeah, and Coach, I did think one of the keys to you winning last week, Mae Jemison had some trouble in the kicking game, but I thought your team was solid in the kicking game as far as and one of the reasons you were able to pull away and put it and win the football game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I tell you what, with Charlie Wilburn, he's our special teams coordinator.
Yes, sir.
He has done a tremendous job on getting those players in the right position. You're always worried about your kicking game because in high school football, that's one thing that you can never count on is your kicking game. And our kickers and our return guys, they've done a good job. They've done a good job as far as putting the ball where we want it to be put and covering and tackling. And we looked a little shaky against Mortimer Jordan in that fall jamboree, but you're talking about a big improvement from jamboree to week 1 to week 2.
Well, and I thought I could have swore it. I broadcasted a lot of games, Coach, but I thought you blocked a punt last week. I really don't know what happened in that one with Ben Watson.
If you listen to the scoreboard show,
I'm waiting on an explanation. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, if you listen to the scoreboard show afterwards, we got a Drew DeArmond explanation of what happened on that one. And let me tell you, he didn't hold back, Coach.
No,
he spoke for you and everybody else.
We're going to make mistakes, but I don't know either.
Well, we certainly do know that this is a big game tonight. 7A Region 4 opener for both teams. The Grissom Tigers under Preston Judah against Jimmy Gay's Huntsville Crimson Panthers. Should be a great atmosphere. We hope for the weather holds off and that it's going to be a lot of energy inside Milton Frank Stadium. Michael Seal and I look forward to being on the call. Coach, we always appreciate your time and your candor, and we always enjoy the visits. Look forward to the game tonight and really appreciate it, and go Big Red.
Hey, go Big Red. I appreciate y'all.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up. JimmyLayAL.com will join us. We'll get a lay of the land of what's going on.
Good. Maybe we should start calling it that.
A lay of the land of what's going on Friday night around high school football.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your number one choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Before we go to Jimmy Lay,
yeah,
and you came up with a great, name for the new segment.
Right,
there.
it's going to be the lay of the land.
The lay of the land. But I will say this: you know how much I hate the Dodgers.
You do.
I hate them.
You do.
And they got swept by the Pirate this season. Paul Skeens. Probably the best pitcher in baseball, even though he's not playing with anybody worth crap.
Where'd the hell that come from?
Steeler Mike.
Okay.
He pointed it out because he knows how much I hate the Dodgers.
All right. We're cruising down the interstate, and all of a sudden we just whip off the exit road, and we're just stopping at Buc-ee's for the heck of it.
There we go.
There we go.
Man,
okay.
I spent $33, and it lasted a week.
Yeah, career high for you.
Wow, it was.
I spent $7.
I know. You had a good taco, though. I need some taco.
Oh, brisket taco sounds so good.
I got some Dreamland left over. I need me some dang
I
need me some tortillas.
Pancakes and omelets sound really good right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
The lay of the land.
Let's get a lay of the land with Jimmy Lay from AL.com on a Friday night.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Scott, that's pretty good. I like that. Pretty good.
So obviously Westminster Christian Academy, we talked to Coach Louis LeBlanc. They're at home tonight taking on JP2. That's one game. But I tell you, you've got James Clemens and Bob Jones going on tonight, Madison Bowl. You've got Huntsville and Grissom. A rivalry there. It's a great night for high school football.
It really is. I tell people this all the time, but if you've never been to a Huntsville Grissom football game, you got to do it at least once because it embodies what the pageantry of high school football is in North Alabama. It'll be the biggest game. I think you already mentioned this at Milton Frank Stadium this year, where from the bottom of the bleachers to the top of the bleachers, you'll have students just going crazy. Both bands are incredible, and we're rocking that place out. And hopefully it'll be a really good game. Last year was a good game, came down to the end. I looked for another good game, tonight. Huntsville has improved, but so has Grissom. And so you're looking to a good game. Over in Madison, Bob Jones had that series for the first 5 or 6 years that James Clemens was in existence. They just dominated. But for the last 5 or 6 years, it's been James Clemens, except for one game. And it came down to a tight game last year. Bob Jones wants to put it in the air. They're going to throw that ball. And James Clemens they've got a really good running game. And so it's going to come down to who makes the biggest plays and who can capitalize on turnovers. There's a lot of other games, though, guys. You talk about region play. This is what you got in 4A Region 8 tonight. North Jackson, Madison County. Madison County had a big win last week over a much improved JP2 team. Plainview and Randolph, man, that's huge. Randolph does not want to be 0-3. Plainview's trying to take hold of the top of Region 8 there. And as you mentioned, I'll be at Westminster Christian, JP2. Man, JP2 lost last week, but they really impressed me. I got a chance to do that game and they really impressed me. They've got a great approach on offense. Man, Keontae Hill, though, just too much. I mean, that guy's
he's a bowling ball.
County. I mean, he's so hard to stop, and he's not like he's slow, you know. I did talk to their coach, though, about maybe giving him some breaks on defense because he's also playing linebacker. But, man, JP2, it's going to be a very tough game over at Earl Van Dyke Stadium tonight for Westminster Christian. They got to correct some of their mistakes. You know, they got down to the 1 yard line last week, a chance to take the lead on Plainview, and they fumbled. You just cannot have stuff like that. That'll kill you. But yeah, also be looking at Priceville and Ardmore. Priceville is playing well. I think they're going to be able to win that game. Brooks and Hatton, that's going to be a big game tonight. So there is a lot of high school football for everybody to look at. I always tell people when you're at games and you get a video clip, send it to AL.com because they might use it and post, especially if it's a really big play. We've seen that happen a lot over the years.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to have full coverage of Westminster and JP2, and I think that's going to be a good football game. I think it's two teams that are battling, and Louis' teams always get better as the year goes on. And as you said, Coach Crehan and his group look much better from a year ago.
They just have such a great approach on offense. They're crisp. They get up to the line. They have great sets. You can tell they've studied you on film and they've set you up, to be able to make some hay, with what they're going to do, running ball and throwing ball.
Yep.
All right, Jimmy Lay with the lay of the land on Friday Night Football for AL.com. Jimmy, good luck tonight. Enjoy it. Beautiful weather. Just enjoy the games.
Rain, go away.
Yes.
Thanks,
Jimmy. It's going to be great. Have a great night, guys.
And then, of course, as we said, Ronnie Massey, great man.
Yes.
You miss him every day. He dominated the Huntsville Grissom Robbery for much of his tenure, winning 7 in a row. Grissom hoping to break the losing streak tonight. Huntsville hoping to continue it and go 2-0 under Jimmy Gay. It's going to be a great game.
All right, that all leads into the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. We'll have that for you coming up after all of the action tonight. Stay safe out there, folks. Stay weather aware.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile, and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99, or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
When the final whistle blows, the conversation is